Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. And I really mean that. I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. So I want to talk about blue pill men or red pill men in a blue pill world. And it's a great topic because I read the comments, you know what I mean? And I want to spend more time with you guys, but I just don't have it. My situation is up in the air all the time. I'll tell you more about that. But this is really what it's coming down to, okay? Men are not stupid, all right? Men know what's going on. Even as young men, we know what's going on. So these questions, this conflict, it's real. It's with us all the time. 24 hours a day, every time you're dealing with somebody. Can you guys hear me okay? I know I've got some poor audio quality going on here, but it's the best I can do. One Fast Dak, thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate One Fast Dak's shorts on, exposing female nature for what it is. He's also turned me on to the whole genre of micro bikini try-ons. And, the reason why this is important, and I'm discussing this from a purely clinical, analytical point of view, is the fact that, a woman trying on a string bikini can get millions of views while she talks about whatever she wants to talk about. Whereas a man who's basically got something to say on a subject that he's studied and he has something he wants to present, he'll be lucky if he gets, a few hundred views. So this demonstrates the nature of the problem, of the situation that's going on around us. Sacred Y is here. Thank you for stopping by, bro. Thank you for all your input and content, comments, interacting with people, and I appreciate the feedback. MGTOW by Logic is here. Thanks for stopping by, bro. Tom Z is here. We're all here, okay? I care about reaching men and planting seeds. I don't need the ridiculous, huge audience. I'm not even going for that. I'm talking about issues that are facing men that are real. And I feel that if you guys can understand the nature of the situation as it is, I believe that you can move around it, that you don't have to get ensnared and trapped by it. Okay, so there is something going on. This is real. You're not imagining it. Yeah, I've got great news for new MGTOW, okay? And for existing MGTOW. You are not imagining what's going on here. This is an assault on the very principles by which we exist. And we have established these principles over tens of thousands of years. This is what works for human culture, okay? And it's being ripped apart in front of us, and we know exactly where this leads. So that's just part of the big picture as to what's going on. It's not imaginary, and here's the thing. The political mind, the social mind is very deceptive. In other words, we pretend that we care about issues that we really don't care about, because we think there's some advantage in it for us. So you've got a bunch of people who are voting for welfare, right? And you could make an argument for the elderly and for people when they fall on hard times for getting a little bit of help and assistance. You can make that argument. It's a valid argument. It's a good argument, okay? But that's not what these people want. These people just want a free living wage. They just want to be taken care of. They're just children who never grew up. So they're pretending that politically they feel that it's important to take care of people. So this is how deceptive the political mind is. And you know this because we all, we all feel this way. We all do this. But we mature, we grow up, and we realize that, we have to be focused on what's important in our lives. And we have to be true and honest with ourselves and with the people around us so that we can get, what we're focused on, assuming that it is, a noble, virtuous, worthy thing. So you can enlist the help and the support of other people. But you don't have to. But that's not what the world around you is doing, man. The world around you are a bunch of greedy, manipulative, lying, victim playing cancel culture, social warrior, social justice types who really don't care about these issues one single bit and are just playing these issues for attention and for unearned resources. You know, the saying, money is the root of all evil, and then the adjustment of, oh no, the desire for money is the root of all evil. No, that's not it. It's really not. That's our means of exchange. That's our free market. That's a great little tool right there. That's a great abstract tool right there. The root of all evil is the desire for unearned resources. Truly, this is it, okay? If people will work and do what they need to do to make themselves happy and content in life, we'll be good. And if they won't, if they try to hustle, if they try to maneuver, if they try to milk the system too much, the system can help. But if they try to just sponge off the system their whole lives, and the focus of their life is a consumer mentality, which is what we want. In other words, the powers that be, they are destroying individual, independent identity, okay? The entire war coming down on men and boys and on good, virtuous people who want to make their way in the world is real. And it's being perpetuated by a bunch of crazy people who want unearned resources, whether it be attention, whether it be material, okay? And this is the conflict. And this is the red pill man in the blue pill world. And the world is going increasingly blue pill. It's going increasingly woke. And these people are increasingly pathological and compulsive. This is the iron fist in the velvet glove. This is the Trojan horse. This is pretending to care about social issues when in fact all they care about are unearned resources. And this is the root of all evil. And this is the conflict that men must engage in every day. And if you think that the young men can develop a personality and the insight and the intellect to combat this and to discuss this, you are mistaken. This is exactly what's conditioned out of them, okay? Hey, I met a millennial the other day, and it was terrible. It was scary, right? I tried to talk to the young man. So what's going on? I said to him, what's the problem? Well, what's wrong? Right? And I'm thinking I'm going to get, like some explanation for why his life isn't going the way it is. Or I think I'm going to get some explanation for the cultural, social situation that's going on around us, even from a woke blue pill perspective. But instead, I get the most retarded madness that you could possibly imagine. I get that they're mistreating the cows in Afghanistan, and this is causing a mystical spiritual breach with otherworldly intelligence that are overlooking the planet, and they are becoming angry, and they're going to destroy everything. Okay? So it's like, well, okay, we're headed towards destruction, a path towards destruction. Okay, I can work with that. Mystical cows in Afghanistan, otherworldly intelligence, no, I can't really deal with that. So I say to him, well, can't all of these problems simply be explained by material, reasonable, rational things that we can wrap our head around, and the kid is gone. You know what I mean? This question is just like, it's not even there. You know what I mean? So this desire to go to the mystical, to go to the spiritual, understand that this is a negation of the physical material world. And that's what you're looking at. So you are looking at men who are essentially bred and socialized to be builders and engineers and knowledge workers, or, just crafts, crafts and trades, physical workers in the physical world, okay? And you've got the majority of your population that wants to go spiritual and mystical and social about their feelings. That's a hell of a conflict, isn't it? So the men are going into work every day thinking that they want to meet their sales quota, that they want to lay the foundation for the building, okay, with mind towards what the building is, its actual function and form, right? They're not just putting down a foundation. It's all planned out. And they're coming into work. They're coming into work with people who have their feelings hurt, who are upset that they weren't included in a staff meeting last week, who are upset that so-and-so at the cubicle next to them has a nicer chair. Pardon me. They think this might be, racially motivated. And even if they don't, and they know it's not, they'll play it because they want that chair. So that's what the men are walking into every day in every way. And understand, when the man says, this isn't right, we need to be focused on the things that matter, the physical, real things that matter. We're not here to make up, bullshit and then get taken off course by that. The people around him say, no, this is the important part. That other part, the work, the productivity, the sales, that's incidental. This is just about making people happy. This is the focus. Okay? So that's what the men are walking into. And, I want you to understand that the young man is rarely going to have the identity or the wherewithal to say to himself, well, this is some retarded bullshit that leads to destruction. I am not going to engage in it. I am going to keep myself separate. I am going to go my own way. I am going to keep my own counsel. I am going to be the person in charge of my life and my feelings. How does he do that? How does he develop that? How does he then look at them and say, yeah, you're all just a bunch of subjective people who just want stuff? He doesn't have those words. He doesn't have those concepts. Okay? These are people who want stuff that they haven't earned, and they're pretending to care about the building. They're pretending to care about the social situation, but they just want stuff. And it is the root of all evil. And this is the conflict you're in. And you are not trained or educated. We, as men, are not trained, educated, socialized, conditioned to be strong, independent individuals who find our own way and go our own way. We are trained to be cooperative people who follow rules, who don't cause much trouble, who don't have very big dreams. You know the story of Icarus, right? Don't fly too high, for surely your wings will melt and you will surely die. Right? That's the story, okay? And you know that the meaning of that story is don't aim too high in life. That's the story. But it's not. That's not the story, okay? They took out part of the story because they didn't want you to get any ideas. The other part of the story is, and don't fly too low, for the water will get in your wings and you will surely die. Okay? So this is a story about being realistic, not about aiming too high. Don't aim too high, don't aim too low. Have your dreams, fulfill your dreams, have your destiny, fulfill your destiny. Do not buy into this consumer, female, gynocentric model where you'll just get stuff and then you'll be happy and then you'll have status, right? Do you really want $1 million? I don't think you do. I think you want the lifestyle that the $1 million would afford you. I don't think most people want $1 million. That would be a lot of work. And if they did really want that $1 million, I'm sorry. I'm just being a realist here. They would have taken the steps. They would already be taking the steps to get them there. Excuse me, one sec. And, I'm outside on this little device. I've got the state clamping down on me, trying to destroy my life. I'm trying to be an outspoken, independent, thoughtful individual who has something to offer to the world, an insight to offer to men. And it's a target on my back. You know what I mean? So I was setting up out here earlier, to do this podcast, and there was nobody here, and I got some good Wi-Fi going on here. One sec, please. And as soon as and nobody's over here, like I'm doing it to get away from people, right? As soon as I set up over here, man, about 5 or 6 people are over here. You know what I mean? Chatting at the store, talking bullshit, playing their music, acting like, I swear. So it's like it's a bunch of A students sitting in the library studying, and the D student comes in, playing their music, talking like, hey, man, what's going on, everybody? Yeah, I spoke to my brother the other day. Like, he's an A student, okay? But he's not. He's a D student, and he's fucking up all the A students, okay? This is how people act. This is the small, petty revenge bullshit that people engage in. And this is happening on a societal, cultural level. And we are not trained to stand up to it, to say, that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm going to go my own way. We are trained, if everybody in the classroom is dancing and listening to music, to dance and to listen to music with them. That's what we're trained to do. And if you try to stand up and you say, hey, everybody, this is school. I'm trying to study here. Well, how do you think that's going to work out for you socially? Right? You'll be destroyed. I mean, any kid would be destroyed for trying to pull that shit. I might get away with it, but even I wouldn't get away with it. There's a great video of a kid sitting in a classroom. He's got the phone pointed at him. He's recording himself. And behind him, the kids are dancing on the tables, just jumping all around. It's crazy. And he's just kind of sitting there shaking his head. And the girl behind him, who is literally dancing on her desk, goes to step over onto his desk to get her footing. And he moves his hand so she won't step on his hand. And this knocks her off balance. And she just hits the floor, man. Nobody says a word. Everybody just keeps dancing. Right. I'm sorry. I'm sure she gets up and starts and continues dancing on again too. Probably gets mad at him for not dancing on the table too. I mean, he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. It's funny. So I am having some coffee. I'm going to try to get into the chat section, but to be honest with you, my devices are so weak that it's like I can't really, I can't really do the podcast and read the chat at the same time. It's a little tricky, but that's what I wanted to say. All right, that this conflict that the men are in, that we are in, is constant. It is every day. You say, I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to have my own values, my own thoughts. I'm going to be true to the principles and the ideas that I believe in. And this is what you should do. This is your life, not a consumer culture, not. Okay, am I back? I don't know what happened. Okay, this equipment sucks. I'm trying to do a good job, and I just need a quiet room where I could sit down and not be bothered. And I like a desktop. I really do. I don't like laptops. I can use it. Not crazy about the handheld devices, but I do like what I would call an editing station. Okay, it doesn't have to be a game machine, right? So it doesn't have to handle live graphics, but it does have to be able to handle graphics, and it has to be able to do it, well, with speed. I was working on some projects, some videos, right, for a company, and they had. I've been a consultant my whole life, doing all kinds of whatever it is I know how to do. Yeah, that's what I do. And they had, a young worker there who thought he knew what he was doing and thought he could do all of this. And, the truth is anybody can make a video. And if you'll use a template out of, video editing software, it'll be like, wow, that's pretty good. Of course, they didn't do it. So this guy, smart guy too, was telling the boss, oh, I can do all of this on my home little computer and we don't need to buy anything. And I tried to tell him, look, we're talking about minimum 1080p, all right? And we're talking about full-blown audio, stereo, and we're talking about full screen images, and we're talking about motion as well. At the bare minimum, we're talking about, some zooming and some camera movement and things like that with images. So we're not even talking about video, right? And I'm telling him, you can't edit this. You can't preview this. You can't make a change to this and then say, go ahead and, render the file for it not to take you 20 minutes. At which point, every little bit of, a lot of the work you do, if you don't understand what to do when, or when to do what, it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, it's unworkable. This is, of course, why we preview in lower resolution. But this guy who hadn't made a single video in his whole life just won't stop. And eventually, the boss says, well, okay, both of you make a video, right? Just show me what you got. Take a couple weeks and make the video. Because, whatever I say, he's getting pulled in the other direction. And of course, I'm saying this from the point of view of, hey, I've produced thousands of these, and I produce them on a daily basis. And while it's not the hardest thing in the world, it's not the easiest thing in the world either. And the idea that somebody can do it one time, and things like that, is not the same as doing it every day. So, of course, you know what I mean? The guy came to realize it's like, oh, shit, I can't even edit, like a phone resolution inside of 1080p and, work on it and see my changes. And, these little computers won't do anything. So it's amazing, though, that we can get here at all, So, and it's quite remarkable. And this civilization, our technological, worldwide civilization, this is not just America. This is not just blah, blah, blah. It is, in many ways, a global Western market, okay? It's different from all the other civilizations that came before it. So all of them fall, all of them crumble. They all seem to fall and crumble based on this inversion of values, where the system of the civilization and the culture becomes so good at what it does, engineering, that it can now support a class of people who cannot really contribute to the civilization. They eventually outbreed and invert the values of the civilization, and the civilization comes down. This is the pattern, okay? This happened to ancient Rome. This happens to all of them. Well, most of them. This is the pattern. So you can see this is happening with us as well. This desire for unearned resources, this attack on the strong, independent, essentially male identity, okay? But it's not exclusively a male identity. And it's not exclusively a white man idea or anything like that. It's the native population of the countries that built it, and that those values support it and built it. That's what's under attack, okay? And we are designed such that you don't even get to develop these strong values. These are the greatest, most important values that the world has ever known. It's independent individual freedom is what it is. It's individual rights. And that's what's under attack, for group rights, for playing the victim. And the conditioning is there. Like, if you start demonstrating qualities as a young person that you're going to stand up to this, they will shut you down. You know who I like? I like the, it's my new red pill girlfriend. Sorry, guys, I'm joking. Tulsi Gabbard, something like that. She's the Democratic Party congresswoman from Hawaii who has left the Democratic Party and has called them out on their corruption. Now, don't think that me saying this means that I'm a Republican or a right-wing person. I am not. I am not left-wing. I am not right-wing. I am ethical. I am looking for sustainable, ethical values and principles that can sustain us moving forward into the future in a healthy, fair manner, okay? Not right, not left. I'm ethical. That's all I'm looking for. So, I admire when somebody stands up and tells the truth. She says, yeah, they're just a bunch of corrupt, misguided people who are actually destroying the very principles that they claim to support. And I agree. That's exactly what's happening. And they're doing it for power. And power is the most seductive. Power is the most alluring, you know? Money is a demonstration of the power and the influence. Lose a battle, lose the small battle, give up a little bit of money, but hold on to the power that generates the money, right? Don't upset the apple cart. So this is a long game. The powers that be, where most MGTOW think, oh, this is all going to come crashing down and then we're going to be able to repair the system. The powers that be, they don't want that. They just want to keep going along, you know? This is why even like the whole idea of, you know, depopulation, you know, like bringing the world down to, you know, 600 million, it doesn't really serve their interests. You know what I mean? Like they want a consumer class in the world, you know, represented by 5 billion people. They want that. They want to be able to advertise all these products in all these different languages and have all of these markets, you know, so I don't know about that, you know, but I don't just agree with stuff. Now, let me tell you something, okay? So I want to start doing these regular, but I do need your support. I do need a little bit of help from you guys, not much, you know? Like if one of you guys can, you know, step up with 20 bucks, you know, here, 10 bucks there, that'll get me by. Now, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Beginning MGTOW, I want to talk to the guys coming into MGTOW, all right? I want to talk about red pill rage. I understand. I felt it too, okay? But the anger passes. This is like the stages of grief. You know what I mean? First we're in denial, then we're in anger, okay? Don't get too angry. It's not as bad as it feels, you know? It feels like, wow, this is a total betrayal of all decent values. My life's dreams can never come true. That's not what's going on here, okay? Your eyes are open. You are seeing the truth. You are getting a clear picture, okay? That's right. Women use men, okay, for resources. That's right. The state and the institutions, they use this to control the men, okay? Now you know. The women play along with it and go along with it so that they can get stuff and be in a position of power. Okay? That's it. So now you know. So now you know you're not in a happy, innocent little garden, okay, where you get to just be happy all the time. No, you're not. You're in a savage garden. There's predators out there. There's thorns out there. There's traps out there. There's pitfalls out there. There's beautiful women who are actually poisonous and dangerous. And then there's regular kind of homely looking women that you wouldn't look at twice, that you could probably have a decent relationship with them. And I'm not saying MGTOW needs, you know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if that's what you want and you have this knowledge and you stay on your guard and you stay careful, then you can do that. Okay, none of these options are lost to you. Sorry about this. Okay, this is just the way it is. You know, I'm not in the studio. I'm outdoors. Yeah, any given moment, somebody could come up to me and start a fight with me. Although that's not going to happen, but they could. And a crazy person might. Things are not as bad as they seem. Okay. Having MGTOW knowledge enables you to call women on their bullshit. Okay. It enables you to not be a puppy dog who's running around in life, who's begging people to pet him, who's rolling over on his back and opening up his legs. That's not what you are. And you're not a consumer either. Okay. It's not like if you get the new BMW and you get all the new stuff and you've got the nice house, the women will just flock to you. That's not the truth of the situation. And then you'll be happy. That is not the truth of the situation. Yes, I wish you get all of those things. Okay. But what you really want is the ability to earn those things and the feeling that knowing that you can provide those things for yourself gives you. That's what you want. That's what you need. You don't need the things. It's not going to make you happy. It's a consumer lie that's been sold to you. And people believe it. Shit, I believe it. To a degree, it's true. I like what Pascal said, Spanish philosopher, right? Blasé. Sounds French. I don't know. Imagination cannot make fools wise, but she can make them happy to the envy of reason. So you're in a society where pretty much all of the people want to go live on Donkey Island, you know, from the Pinocchio story. They just want to feel good, do what they want. They don't want to have to work hard. They want to have the lifestyle of a millionaire. They want to have all the stuff. They want to have all of the social approval that they think goes along with having all of the stuff. And they're destroying themselves, okay? No discipline, no values, no guiding star. Right? Just them feeling good every day and pretending to care about things that they don't care about so that they can get more free stuff and their life can be easier. And it turns them into fat, broken, unhealthy slobs. And you know it does. And no, you don't want any part of that. You want to be a man who's working and building and getting better and has values. And then if a woman comes into your life and she can recognize what you are and how you are, you do what you think is best as a man, okay? Now I'm telling, you know, MGTOW is telling you that 99 out of 100 of those women, they're gonna fall into this behavior, okay? They can't help it. So you go to some third world country, all right? And you trade a cow for a new wife, okay? And so now you've got your new wife and you're living over there in the third world country. She still has all of the gynocentric ideas that the women have over there. And if you bring her to your Western country, she will adopt all of it. She will start watching TV. She will start reading magazines. She will start talking to the people nearby. And she will adopt all of these values because it is to her advantage to do so. That's not the end of the world. For you to recognize that and to know that as a man is not the end of the world. Could you meet a woman who had her own life together, who had her own values, who had her own principles, who had integrity? And could you be friends with that woman? Sure, why not? Why not? To the degree that she was fair with you, why not? Could it develop into something more? Hey, why not? If that's where you want to go, why not? It's dangerous, you know that, but why not? So to the new MGTOW, it's not the end of the world, okay? Your eyes are open. You see things more clearly. You have a more mature adult man view of the situation. That is all. And you're better off than you were. Now you can work on your life. Now you can make yourself strong. You don't need a PlayStation 6. You don't need the new Nikes. If you know, that's nice, nothing wrong with it. But when it becomes the purpose of your life, then there is something wrong with it. And you are in a constant battle for these values and these principles that you know need to be the guiding principles in your life. They are under assault every day, in every way, in every TV show you watch, in every magazine article you watch, in every video that you watch. Your principles, your values, your virtue, the things that will get you through a hard life are under attack. And everybody around you is saying, hey man, just have another drink. Hey man, just take it easy. Hey man, just sit down and watch the TV show. Hey man, don't you like this new thing? And if you give yourself over to that, if you go to that place and you stay in that place, you will become part of the 5 billion consumers. You'll become cattle. You won't have your own life. Now, going this other way, it's really hard. You're alone. You don't get support. You don't get encouragement on a daily basis from the people around you. They're doing the other things. But if you'll stick to it, you'll get stronger. You'll improve. Cut out the processed food. Get rid of the garbage. Take a desiccated liver. It's the most nutrient-dense food on the planet. Okay, this is what the lions, when they make the kill, that's what they eat. Okay, they eat the liver. Now I know you don't want to eat liver, right? But that's okay. You don't have to. You get yourself the desiccated liver. The Now brand of supplements has liver caps for $11, okay, over at Walmart. If you're having a lack of energy, if you don't feel motivated, if you don't feel like, you're up to all the stuff that you're facing, try it, okay? Don't worry about your multivitamins. Don't worry about your protein. Go ahead and get yourself some of the most nutrient-dense food on the planet that the king of the beasts eats, and see if that doesn't help you a little bit. I think it will. Your health, your skills, your ability, your mind, your logic, that's what matters. That's what you're focused on. Can you have fun along the way? Fuck yeah. Can you play PlayStation along the way? Fuck yeah. Of course you can. And you can even hang out with pretty girls, but you better be careful. Right? You better know what you're getting yourself into. And look, I mentioned it the other day, the most beautiful girl I know right now, and she is beautiful, okay? She just has a model physique. That's it. She's really thin, nicely amply proportioned, up top. Pretty face, pretty eyes, pretty nose, beautiful hair. And you won't be able to hang out with her for 5 minutes. I promise you, 5 minutes. You'll look at her, right? And she dresses for you to look at her. And there's something to look at there, I'll tell you that. But you can't talk to her, you can't hang out with her. I mean, she'll let you, but she's got nothing to say, nothing going on, right? She basically holds her phone, pretends to talk to people, and giggles. That's what she does. That's what they're doing too. You know that, right? The young girls, the young women, they're sitting in the group and they're just locked in on their phones, and then they're giggling and they're talking, and there's nobody there. There's a video that they're watching. It's a Howard Dare video. Right? So the women are sitting here listening to the Howard Dare videos, and they're saying, "Oh my God, that's bullshit." So that's what you're seeing. But hey, you know what? Women donate to the Howard Dare channel. So no, there's good women out there. There's smart women. Look, I am honestly saying that 80% of the people out there, they realize that this has gone too far. This woke bullshit, this leftist crazy bullshit. It really is escape from California, escape from Hollywood. They know it's gone too far, right? Like the kids are wanting sex change operations. They know that this is crazy, but they don't have the social protection, to speak out against it, because this is, the iron fist in the velvet glove. This is the people pretending that they're talking about, individual rights and freedom, but they're not. They're talking about the destruction of the nuclear family. Has anybody clicked on my donation link yet? Did you get email at the Sacred Y? Yeah, I saw that and I thought, did you get married? That's what I read. Yeah, I just have crazy associations. I see the word paper and I think paper cuts can kill. Do any of you guys out there play Plague Inc.? It's an Android game, and it's about taking over the world with a virus or a fungus or a bacteria or a parasite. And they have all kinds of scenarios. But one of the scenarios they have is a fake news scenario, okay, where you come up with this fake news idea and you propagate it through the world, through various social media and social practices. Check it out, okay? If you've got a little time, you've got an Android device, check out Plague Inc. and check out the fake news scenario, because this is exactly what is happening with a lot of these social causes. All right, you'll be like, damn, that's what they're doing. Like they're trashing people in public, they're hiring so-called experts, they're doing fake studies, they're populating themselves on various social media outlets, and it's extensive. And I think it also gives insight, to some of the practices that are actually being used on us right now. So that's good knowledge. Let's see. Hank says, I ate liver 3 days ago. It kicked in about 16 hours later. I felt like I was 22 again. Thank you, Hank. That's exactly right. Okay. This is the most nutrient dense food on the planet. So the zoo animals, right? They can't get them to breed. And the question is, well, are you giving them organ meat? And the answer was no, we're not giving them organ meat. So they started giving the males, the lions, organ meat, liver, spleen, heart, that sort of stuff. And guess what happened? That's right. The male lions started to breed. I mean, you don't think that there's some sort of fucking plan to feminize male population and to make them docile and weak and cooperative? You don't think that's going on, do you? You know that's going on, right? And it doesn't even have to be like intentional. It's just all of the phytoestrogens and the chemicals in all of our stuff leaking into our water supply and into our milk and into our vegetables. I think liver's clean though, I don't know. Like if you give cattle a bunch of hormones and antibiotics, I wonder if the liver is still, clean. I think it is, because, that's what the liver does. So, boom, there you go. Yeah, if you're not feeling, like you did when you're 22, go ahead and get yourself some liver. And as I said, get the capsules. You don't have to eat it. I know you're not going to do that. How goes it, HT? AP 530 goes pretty good, I've still got all my legal stuff hanging over my head. I mean, they really do want to destroy and kill the men. They really do. And the more outspoken and the more capable the man is, the bigger the target is on him. And you guys understand that. This makes sense, right? But, it's hard to take down Elon Musk, right? He'll fight back. But you and me in the office, we really can't fight back. And then if the legal system comes after you, then you'll find out, what our Constitution is really about. And, how the institutions are a part of this. Yeah, bunch of white knights. You know what I mean? You're dealing with the consumer man, okay? And we're all partially consumer, who's bought into this blue pill bullshit. He's a dangerous creature. You know what I mean? What we're talking about here is a statist. Okay, this is someone who believes in the state. And young people, naturally, they have to. This is just part and parcel of them growing up. So, let's say you're a cop. And let's say you catch somebody jaywalking. Oh, well, you got to give them a ticket. Now, let's say your best friend is jaywalking. What are you going to do? Now, your mother is jaywalking. What are you going to do? Now, you're jaywalking, but you're doing it to save someone's life. Are we going to punish you? Well, if he believes, then the answer is yes. And what if the punishment for these crimes of jaywalking is severe? What if it means that you can never get a government job for the rest of your life once you've been convicted of this? Does the statist, does he care? Is this what he is about? Is he about justice? Is he about individual rights? No, he's about pleasing his boss. That's it. Now, I'm using jaywalking as an example because it's so light. What if it's smoking THC? What if it's consuming THC? You're going to send your brother to jail? And the answer is, yeah, they're going to send their brother to jail. They're going to send their mother to jail because that's what they believe in. Now, and I know that in most of these cases, the individual is going to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that. Right? So they're not even true to what they say they believe in because all they want is unearned resources. That is all. And I'm telling you, this is not the way to go. All right? You got to earn it. You got to be the man who can earn it, not just have it. we'd give it to a kid. I knew kids who were given millions of dollars. I did. I grew up with some of them. Well, I didn't grow up with them. I went to school with some of them for a while, and I hung out with them for a little while. I didn't grow up with them. That wasn't how I grew up. Gee, I can't tell you a single one of them that's alive today. I'm sure there's some of them, but no, they're not. I mean, what do you think would have happened to Michael Jackson if he didn't have all that money? If he wasn't all that famous? And I'm not just using him as an example. That's who I went to school with. So, yeah, a lot of, good, brilliant, bright people. And because life was too easy and they were given too much and they didn't earn it, they didn't know the value, it destroyed them. So you think you just want the stuff? I mean, be honest. Do you want $1 million? Or do you want what the lifestyle that the $1 million will afford? Do you want the relationship with the woman and the family and the kids? Or do you rather want what you think that will make you feel about yourself? Is that your dream? If it is, fine, so be it. Let it be, good. What if it's not your dream? What if it was something that the world around you convinced you that you needed to have in order to feel like a real man? During various times in history, we had to use other things for currency. And I think, probably during the bubonic plague, we were using daisies as currency. Like you were buying things with daisies. They may have thought that daisies would also cure them. So, what? You want to be a man that has a warehouse full of daisies? I like the scene in the Batman movie with the Joker, in the big pile of money. Right? Just light it on fire. Doesn't mean shit to me. There's what it can do for you. There's, the things that it can afford you in your lifestyle. And if you're a consumer and you honestly think that you're going to find happiness and meaning and purpose and value in having things, and it's not bad. I mean, I don't personally know, but I don't think you are. I think you want the ability to earn the thing. I know that's what I want. If I were offered a deal at the beginning of my life, and the deal was, you can have all the money in the world. Well, not all the money. You can have plenty of money, okay? You can be born rich. But that's it, okay? No love, no guidance, just money. Or you can earn your way in life. And you can have, basic care and basic human treatment that exists in the society that you're being born into. What do you want? I'd say I want to earn my way. I don't want it given to me. I used to watch wrestling long ago. I still watch wrestling sometimes. I like Alexa Bliss because she's cute. But I remember when The Rock first was coming out into the WWE, whenever Steve Austin was wrestling and he had like the Intercontinental title or something, The Rock would sneak out and steal the belt and run away and hold up the belt like it was his. So, I mean, do you want the belt? Because you can steal the belt. You could even pretend, like let's say a man thought that he wanted to get married and have kids, but he didn't really want that. He just kind of bought into it. And he went out and, he got that. He built that in his life, and I'm sure many of you did. And, all relationships turn sour. Nothing is a honeymoon forever. Real life is about paying bills and cleaning toilets some of the time. But at some point, I think a lot of you may have said, I didn't sign up for this. This is madness. I am now at the whim of a person who is not rational, and they are empowered by the state and by the society around them. And then, as you were unable to cooperate, capitulate, go along, and realized it was against your own well-being, and you started to resist, then these social forces and these tools that she could use came to bear. But you should have known beforehand, based on her speech, based on her ideas, how she expressed herself. 90% of communication is nonverbal. Okay, so you should have picked up on the idea that, hey, this woman hates men. She resents men. Hey, this woman, for all of her beauty, she doesn't believe that she has to support herself in life. She believes that somebody has to bring her food, and that she can then eat it and then walk away from the plate, and she doesn't have to clean it. Okay? And, I'm mentioning that, but this is an example of, the much larger behavior and mindset. Because now and this person also doesn't think they have to take care of their health or their mental well-being. That all these things should just be taken care of, just like the plate. So it's not just a plate. It's everything. So you should have seen that and known that I can't hang out with this. Let's say you had a kid, okay? And, you moved into a new neighborhood and you went out and you saw the local kids and they were all dealing drugs and fighting and beating up on people smaller than them. And they weren't studying, they weren't working, they weren't exercising. They didn't have any hopes or dreams for the future. They just wanted to sell drugs and buy a new PlayStation. Would you honestly be like with your kid, yeah, go hang out with those kids? No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, I'll buy you a PlayStation. Hang out here in the house. You would. And rightly so. One sec, please. So if you would do that for your kid, because you know better, why don't you do that for yourself? Why would you hang out with people who want to cheat the people around them out of money? Why? Why would you do that? That's not who you are. No, you're a man. You're a hardworking man who's going to earn his way in the world, who doesn't want, a free ride. Doesn't want, break here and there. Yeah, that's fine. You are the backbone. You are the rock on which we build our civilization. And you know that. And I know that. And you know that the values that most of the people are putting forward and acting on are not. And that it is a path of self-destruction. And you have to not be a part of it. And that's hard because it's all around you. But just as the ancient advice of Delphi, be true to yourself and you will know all the gods. Okay? Where do you think God is? Do you think he's out there with the PlayStations? Or do you think he's inside where the things you really care about take place? I say he's inside. Okay. And I say that if the representation inside becomes real, then it becomes manifest in the world around us. Look, our metaphysical outlook about what the world is, right? What's going on here? Do we exist in physical reality? Does objective reality exist? Yes? Good. I'm glad you see it that way. All right? Can you prove it? Are you sure? Good. I'm glad you are, right? Because if a tree falls in the forest and it hits you in the head and nobody hears it, did it make a sound? Who the fuck cares? Because it hit you in the head. Okay? This is objective reality. And this is where we're working. Now, given this knowledge that you have, what are you going to do? This is the ethical question. How are you going to behave? How are you going to act? Figure out what's going on, make sure it's right, and now figure out what to do. And these are your ethics. This is why you believe in individual rights. This is why you believe in freedom. because it's the right thing to do. You are good people trying to do the right thing in a society of greedy, misguided people who want free stuff. Okay, now you know what to do. Now you know what to act. Now how to act. Now you know what's important. Okay? Now this is going to shape your politics, your art, your culture, your sporting events. Okay? They're all going to reflect these values. That's philosophy. And that's why it's important. Because if you mess it up, okay, if you throw a monkey wrench into the conceptual framework and you say to them, no, it's not objective reality. It's all about your feelings in the moment. Well, now the entire ethical consideration changes, doesn't it? Now it's all about feeling good in the moment. And now it's all about how you feel. And is it fair? And you are not a dog walking around trying to get people to pet him. You are a man. I sit down here to do a podcast to talk to you guys for a little while. 5 other guys come over near me and start hanging out. What are you doing? And the reason why they're doing it is because I'm doing something. I'm doing anything. And this is big news. This is big news. What? A man trying to do something? Like he's trying to make a difference and better himself or make a difference in something? Got to check that out. Got to see what's going on. What are you building? I'm building a giant ark. Why are you building it? Because I believe a giant flood is coming. It's like, well, this is the desert. We never get floods. It's like, that's right, genius. This is the desert, and we never get floods. And I'm building an ark for a giant flood. Because I know a flood is coming. And you know a storm is coming. Okay? It's symbolic. It's abstract. It's not necessarily water that's coming, and I'm not necessarily building an ark. But I am building an ark for the flood. And I need your support. And I want to give guidance. I want to offer my views on this. I can't make the fancy videos because I don't have an editing station. I can't make great planned out podcasts because I'm outdoors stealing public Wi-Fi. And if I sit down and I start to do work, 5 guys will come around me and they'll be like, oh, what's going on? And they don't even speak English. So, and I don't have a problem with that. You know, it's just that if you're going to come to a country, you know, you generally want to learn the language of the people in the country if you want to get along. Right? But if you want to be taken care of and you want to get free stuff that you didn't earn, don't worry about it. But if you want to be that kind of a person, then you're going to pay a terrible price moving forward in your life. It might take 5, it might take 10, it might take 20 years, but it's going to show. And I don't want it to. And I want you to be strong enough to fight through this bullshit. So that's what we're talking about here. Okay, now, you know, I get to talking and, yeah, go sub to MGTOW Outlaw, guys. Sub to all the MGTOW channels. Interact in the comment section. Offer feedback, you know, share your views. This is a place for men, you know, to do just that. And that's the great part about it. Not the big giant channel, not the big, you know, large numbers of views. That's fine, whatever. But no, the real talk to the real men in the real situation. That's the important part. That's the foundation. That's the substantive part of MGTOW. Now you grow and you make a big channel and you reach a lot of people. That's, you know, you're doing that too, right? But you're still bringing the MGTOW message to it. But the other channels, no, it's just the MGTOW message. So, you know, support that. Be a part of that. Go on to their podcasts. Start your own podcasts. Spread this seed. Take this message. Take these things that I'm talking about and turn them into your own words and present them to your people who will understand this, you know, these ideas this way, because it's the same old story and it's the same old stuff, right? You've got to be a strong man. You've got to be free. You've got to be independent. There's a lot of value to be had in giant consumer, you know, modern society. Go ahead, take advantage, you know, but don't become a slave to it. Don't become enmeshed in it. Know that your real life, that your real work is something different. That's right, the Cash App. Yeah, PayPal sucks, man. They kicked me off. As soon as they found out I was doing MGTOW, boom. Yep. And they wouldn't even, so it was like, I was asking them why, what's going on, like I've given you all your documentation, I conformed with all your stuff and things like that. And they were just like, no, we don't think it's a good idea. Now, when you are politically attacked for political and social reasons, okay, it won't appear as a political attack. It can't. That's the nature of a good political attack, is that it doesn't appear as a political attack. So politics, they're out there. I heard Joe Biden said he believes that things will turn around before the election. And it's like, damn, doesn't he have consultants and people who talk to him and tell him what to say? He shouldn't have said that, I mean, he's not projecting, a message of leadership with that. Sorry. JLM says, everything as a subscription service is a particularly cruel business practice. Well, I'm not sure. Are you referring to the idea of people like selling subscriptions? Like, I'm not selling you a bag of coffee. I'm selling you a monthly bag of coffee, and I'm going to pick out, what coffee and what little things go with it. Because, yeah, that's a nasty little business practice there. But, you also have to admire, excuse me, the marketing practices going on there. Understand that these social issues, they're marketing issues, they're propaganda issues. Propaganda is not bad. Propaganda is bad when one side gets a lock on it, then it's bad. But otherwise, it's just people trying to sell their stuff and convince you. And as long as it's a free, open market, we're good. Now, of course, that's the problem here on social media, is that that the conservative, that the established view is being shut down. And I'll tell you why it's happening. Technology constantly moves forward. It is innovation. We always want smaller, bigger, smarter, faster, less heat resistant, less resistance. We always want that because we are a consumer society. But these things cannot be applied to our cultural values and our social norms. Okay, these are long established human practices. This is the way we build our families. This is the way we raise our children. This isn't technology. This isn't innovation. This isn't trying something new. This is the basis of our existence. And it is time-honored practices. Do we learn new things? Do we try new things? Yeah, sure, we do. But you don't have kids deciding to have life-changing, unnecessary medical operations based on a social movement. It's a technological innovation mindset being applied to cultural, social, human, established values, and it doesn't work. But of course, young people brought up in a consumer culture, they're always like, no, we're new, we're changing, we're innovating, we're leaving the past and moving into the future. And we don't really have the tools and the wherewithal to have this argument. So this is really what's going on. We've got this argument of innovation and social advancement, but we know that it's not innovation and social advancement. We know that it's destruction, and we know that it's motivated by revenge and greed, not for social welfare. So this is the situation. This is the red pill man, the red pill person in the blue pill world, and the blue pill world is going crazy, and they'll never have enough. You know what I mean? Because it's not based on that. It's based on momentary feelings and desires. And you don't want your life based on that. So that's my message for today. That's what I've been trying to say. That's, and this is all I want to do. I want to be able to come on here. Now, what I'd also like to do is bring a few of you on here to talk, to put out a few questions, make a few comments. But I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to start doing that next week. I'm going to do this regular. I've said it before, a few times a week. Come on, talk about something for an hour, give advice to new MGTOW, and then bring on a few people and talk about stuff. And boom, right? Satisfies my need to talk about stuff. Satisfies listeners' need to, like have structure, like, hey, this is the new MGTOW section. This is the MGTOW monk section. And then it satisfies our need to, to deal with real life situations that the men are really facing. And, they get to get some feedback and they get to express themselves as to what's going on in an environment where people are like, yeah, man, you're right. So I think that's pretty cool. Thank you, One Fast Dak. Everybody get over there to the other MGTOW channels. Go to One Fast Dak's channel. He may just turn you on to, a whole new genre of videos, micro bikinis, right? These girls do well. And not all of them are attractive either. Oh, no. There's plenty of big fat moo-moos out there dressing up in string bikinis and getting millions of views. And it's funny, isn't it? Because on the one hand, I know that the men want to look at the string bikinis. But on the other hand, yeah, it's funny, Gone with John, did the video of the woman who sells her farts in jars. And she's doing really well, man. Like she's, got the Porsche. She's got the, $1,000 purses and, she's got the cashmere sweaters. Of course, they all smell like farts, She's got the, helping the family members and sending them to Paris, for a summer vacation. Of course, they all smell like farts, though. And she can never give up eating beans either, right? And, heaven help her if she goes to, an entrepreneur meeting, right? And people are talking about the books they've written and the marketing programs they put out there. And she goes up there and talks about selling farts in jars. So, hey, do you want it? Do you want it? Want it? Is that the kind of success that a man wants? Would you even do it? Could you even do it, right? Somebody said you $100, right? I mean, could you do it? Could you take that mason jar, do the deed, seal it up, and then ship it out? Could you do it? She can do it. She can do it. Hell, this is a whole new industry, man. Art, empire, industry. And understand that it all becomes shaped by your values, by your ethics. And your ethics become shaped by your epistemology, by what you know to be true. And your epistemology is based on your metaphysics, what the nature of what you believe the world to be. And we mostly believe that it's an objective reality, of physical laws. That's generally the held view, right? Like you can't just step off of a cliff and fly. Which reminds me of the joke where the man is walking along the edge of the cliff and he slips and falls and he's hanging on to the ledge, by a root hanging out. And he screams, "Is there anybody up there? Can anybody help me?" And suddenly the heavens open up and the clouds part, the sun shines through, and a booming voice comes out of heaven and says, "It is God, my son. Let go, for I will catch you." The man pauses for a minute, thinks to himself, and then screams, "Is there anybody else up there? Maybe someone with a rope?" So, the Russians have a saying, okay? Pray to God, but row for the shore. So, we're in objective reality, governed by physical laws, okay? And if you pick up a rock and you throw it through the air, or you shoot an arrow into the air, it will continue along its trajectory according to the laws of physics. Could a wind come along? Yeah, a wind could come along. Could a bird come along and crash into? Yes, a bird could come along. But assuming that, none of those things happen, assuming that another force does not act upon your force, it will continue on. Objective reality. It's a great thing. It enables us to build airplanes, skyscrapers, and medical science, cars, electricity. It enables all of it. And it's predicated on the idea that there's no mystical intervention. Because if there was, we couldn't do anything. So this world that the blue pill people, largely 80% of your population, despise, is in fact the greatest deal that man could ever be offered. And they're destroying it because they want to feel good in the moment and they want new stuff, but they don't want to earn it. They just want it because other people have it and they think it'll make them feel good and they think it'll make them happy in life. And they are very unhappy because of all the great injustices that have been heaped upon them for countless centuries and generations. So you know that they're not really upset. You know that they just want free stuff and they don't want to work for it. You know that's true. And you know that they just don't, and that they don't have actual values that can govern them and move them forward into the future in a sustainable manner. They don't have it. We need you, okay? The world needs you as a man, as a rock, as the foundation, as the one who really does set the trend. And if you can't do it for the world at large, do it for yourself. And maybe, just maybe, you can build a group of people around you that you care about, that care about you, and you can build it and you can help them too. Maybe, not a guarantee. Don't do it for that. Do it for yourself. Eat the right food, exercise, do the hard things, right? This is John F. Kennedy. We choose to do the thing not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Choose to do the hard thing, okay? Step into the arena. Step up to the plate. Step into the fire. Choose to do it because you know this will make you strong and you know this is what's required. And when you do it and you meet with difficulties and obstacles and excuses, fight through them because you chose to do this. And you need to be the man who can get it done, not the man who has the excuse. So that's what I wanted to say to you guys. And I understand you're under attack. When you demonstrate these qualities, when you stand up and say, this is what I'm going to do, everybody around you says, oh man, just watch some TV. That's bullshit. Play this game. What, do you mean that we're not all equal? No, we're not all equal, okay? LeBron James is a better basketball player than I am, okay? Elon Musk is a better innovator and inventor and company world changer than I am. We are not equal. When Elon Musk stands up to say something about technology, people listen. When I stand up to say something about technology, very few people listen. And that's how it should be, because I have not done the thing. I have not stepped up to that. I have not fought through that. But I will, to the degree that I am capable. And then I will reap those rewards. And nobody will give them to me. I won't have to beg for them, and I won't be cheated out of them. If you lift the weights, you will develop the strength. That's all. Welcome to MGTOW. Good deal. Welcome to Thunderdome. Good deal. Oh, things aren't the way you would wanted them to be and hoped that they would be, that you saw in the movies. That's right. They're not. They're not like that. Are all women bad and evil? No, they are not. Could you have a relationship with a woman if you wanted to? Yeah, you could. So what's the problem? 80% of them are crazy? Yeah, that's true. Maybe 90%, maybe 95% of them, maybe all of them, okay? That when they get into a certain difficult situation, they will revert to these tendencies. Oh, well. Do you think it ever wasn't like that? It was always like that. Problem now is that we're in a blue pill world where the majority of people are crazy and they're inverting the values. And that's what you have to be able to fight through. So I hope that helps. What's this? JLM says, at least one girl sold actual contaminated water. Yeah, exactly, right? So she's keeping her word. Sound business practices. Yeah, I don't think it would work for me, though. Hey, wait another 20 or 30 years and the women are going to, hey, if the women want to be men, You know that the women have to pay for male companionship over in Japan, right? That they have the women, they come into the clubs and they have to pay, for the guys to hang out with them, and they buy the guys drinks and they spend money in the clubs. There's a lot of interesting things about Japanese culture. They're funny. I like to watch sometimes, or I have in the past, like to watch subtitled Japanese comedies. They're funny, I mean, it's always interesting, to see a sense of humor demonstrated in a culture, not your own. And it's like, oh, it's universal. Laughter and joking around and pranks and unexpected happenings and the lies and the mess that people get themselves into. It's universal. Like, you can go anywhere and get that. Good deal. Now, if you can build yourself up as a man, you can travel. Shit, you don't even have to build yourself up that much. If you don't have too much stuff and you're, travel light, boom, you can travel. Good stuff. Mouth agape ape is here, ladies and gentlemen, and that is a mouthful too. Go ahead and say that 3 times fast. Right? They are brainwashed. They want the Chad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they really do. Like, I was talking about it. Like, I don't think people want what they say they want. I think they want what they think having it will make them feel. There's a fundamental mix-up that happens in a consumer culture, okay? And it has to happen. And it's wrong. And you'll realize that it's wrong. And it's pretty simple. And it's the idea that if I can just have what I want, then I will just feel the way I want, and then I will be the way I want. So a consumer culture convinces us that having allows us to do, and then doing allows us to be. But of course, this is not the order of things, right? You have to be a certain way in order to do certain things. And then you may or may not have the thing, the reward, the goal of what you were doing. So it's not have, do, be. It's be, do, have. And that's a good deal, okay? If you're hungry, you can go out and find food. This is a good deal. This is not like, oh shit, I wish it was some other way. No, it can be no other way. Physical reality, based on objective reality, based on physical laws. And if it was any other way, we could not exist. So we want something that we haven't earned. And we think it'll make us feel a certain way. And then we think we can have a certain life. But no, be the person that you want to be. Do the things that you need to do. And then you can have the things that you get from doing those things. Anyway, right? I mean, it's hard. It's not easy. I'm just saying this kind of stuff. And like, I know it all to be true, from an intellectual, from a theory point of view. But in practice, it's much more difficult. In theory and practice are the same. In practice, they are not. Question: why is female stuffication condoned while male hoarding tools or materials is called evil? Well, that's the game that we're playing. That's the social political environment we're in. All things, female are, pretty and nice, and all things male are snakes and snails and puppy dog tails, and men are the oppressors. So once you accept some of these basic metaphysical premises, men are the oppressors, then everything else just follows. You know what I mean? So if a man and woman are doing the exact same thing, well, in the man's case, it's bad, wrong, and evil. And in the woman's case, it's good, virtuous, and noble. Because the basic premise is that men are oppressing women. But they're not. They are a cooperative side of a sexually dimorphic species. And in this case, the male side, which is physically dominant and things like that, and does not actually bear the children. That's the side. That's the deal. And the women, they don't like that. They don't like that deal. They don't want that deal. So we invented birth control. So we have invented, social laws and practices to make, things more fair and agreeable to the women in the work environments. And some of that is perfectly just, and it's a smart, good thing to do. But the premise that all of this stuff is predicated on is that men are evil, and they're not. Some men might act evil at times, but no, men are not evil. Men are good. So the whole premise of what's going on all around us is wrong, okay? And the premise that even we have as men is wrong. Yes, having a lot of stuff and having material success is good, all right? But it's by virtue of what you do and what you've earned, not by your class, not by your sex. Now, with women, it's a little different, okay? She's a beautiful young woman. She's kind, she's nice, she's supportive, she's helpful. Yeah, she can find a good mate based on that. Hopefully a good mate, right? Is this unfair? Is this wrong? Is this unjust? No, it's not. She's a pretty girl. She wants to have a family. Men want pretty girls. Men want families. Nothing wrong, okay? But if she has the premise of the men are evil, and that's what the society around her has, it's going to go south. It can go south. It can go sour. Is that true with all women all the time? No, it's not. I don't know, hey, what's the Abraham Lincoln, right? You can please some of the people all of the time. You can please all of the people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time. So is she a good woman some of the time? Yeah, she is. Yeah, well, okay, I'm trying to apply it, you know what I mean? But no certain circumstances, boom, and then she avails herself of, our female ceremonies and traditions and habits. And it's unfair to the men. It's really unfair. So it's real. You're really facing it. But it's okay, because this is really what the situation always was. You've just been sold a kind of consumer materialistic lie that's bullshit. There's some truth in it. It's nice to have lots of stuff, but that's not the meaning and the purpose of your life. Somebody can give it to you, right? You could win it in the lottery. You'd still be the same person you are. Okay, so I hope this helps. Eat your liver, get your exercise, willingly do the hard things. Know that you are being undermined in every way, but it doesn't matter. No, not all women are evil. No, the nature of the game is not evil. It is what it is. And you know it, you have the knowledge. They're not going to play by the rules, but you can still do what you got to do as a man. And that's all I'm hoping for, right? That you can still build a good life for yourself. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. Next week, I'm going to come on. We're going to bring people in here. I'm going to address more of your questions. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. I really need your support right now. The state has got me, in a clamp. I can't work. I don't want to go out there and do that, but I want, I need a little bit to get by. I'd like to do it through talking, through MGTOW. I think that's a good deal, but I'm not doing it to get by and get money through MGTOW. I'm doing it because these are important, real issues that I care about, and hopefully the rest can kind of take care of itself. So go ahead and find my Cash App donation link, click on that, send a few bucks over to your buddy, Howard Dare, maybe request a topic, maybe come on to one of my future podcasts. Let me know how it's going. And, I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your channels. I appreciate what we're all trying to do here. And let's change the world. You know what I mean? Let's do it. We can do it, and we're going to do it. And all I'm really talking about, though, is changing the individual man's life. I want to change the world so the individual men have hope. Okay? I'm not trying to change the world. I don't really care that much. I care about my life. I care about your life. I care about getting together someday and having some ribeyes and some liver Check out the Liver King. He's good. He's right here on YouTube. He has his 9 ancestral tenets, okay? Things like being grounded to the earth. Check them out, okay? They're good stuff. I might even do a video where I talk about it. Let me know what you think about it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. Join me again, Howard Dare, so I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.